If you feel like you're in constant firefighting mode in your business, every day there's a new emergency and you can never get to the real work that you intended to do, you're not alone. And here's what most business owners miss. It's not because you have the wrong team, it's not because there's too much work to do, and it's not because you lack discipline or focus. It's a design problem. And once you see it, it changes how you run your business. Now, let me be clear. Fires are part of businesses. If you're waiting for a day with zero fires, well, that day's not coming. Every business has emergencies. That's just the reality. But here's the thing most business owners don't realize. You're probably fighting far more fires than you actually need to. When you're stuck in constant firefighting mode, it's not just your time that takes a hit. It's your energy, your focus, your ability to think about where the business is actually going. And the longer that cycle runs, well, the harder it gets to step out of it. So here's what we're diving into today. First, I'm going to show you the two types of fires in every business and why knowing the difference changes everything. Then we'll look at why the preventable ones keep showing up even when you're working hard and doing your best. And I'll give you a simple exercise you can do this week to start breaking the cycle. Here's what I've learned after over 20 years of working with business owners and business leaders. Every business has two types of fires. The first type, well, they're the unpreventable fires. There's a key employee has an emergency, or a major client changes direction overnight. A vendor drops the ball at the worst possible time. These are real and they're unavoidable, and yes, they need your attention. The second type, well, they're the preventable fires, and this is the part that's worth paying attention to. A missed deadline that everyone saw coming but nobody flagged, a quality issue with a customer that could have been caught earlier, your team constantly working at 200%, not because of a one-time crunch, but because the workload has been unsustainable for months and nobody stepped back to find a longer-term solution. These fires feel as urgent in the moment. They demand the same energy, but they didn't have to happen. And it's not unusual for business owners to realize that more than half, sometimes much more, of what they're reacting to didn't need to be a fire in the first place. Most business owners don't see this distinction earlier because when you're inside of the day-to-day, everything feels urgent. But once you start seeing it, you can't unsee it. So if these fires are preventable, why do they keep happening? Well, preventable fires don't keep showing up because business owners don't care. They happen because fixing the problem once feels responsible, but fixing it for good, well, it feels optional because every issue shows up framed as urgent, because patterns are hard to see when you're in the middle of them. And because the business, well, it quietly rewards heroics instead of prevention. Here's what it looks like in real life. Think about what happens when a fire lands on your desk. You jump in, you fix it, the client's happy, the team's relieved, the problem disappears for now. And honestly, it feels good. It feels like you're doing your job. But nobody stops to ask, why does this keep happening? Because there's no reward for that question. The business doesn't celebrate the fire that never started. It celebrates the person who put it out. Prevention is invisible. Firefighting is visible. Does this sound familiar? Can you see this happening in your own business? Now think about this. When the same issue shows up with slightly different details, maybe a different employee, a different client, a different day, it feels new every time. From the inside, it doesn't register as a pattern. So you solve the thing that's the loudest, the angry email, the missed deadline, the confused team member. But the quiet cause underneath, the unclear expectation, the missing ownership, the fuzzy priority, it stays untouched because it isn't screaming. And over time, most business owners don't even realize how much of this only lands on them, how often decisions default to them, how rarely things resolve without their involvement. They don't see these fires as preventable. They see them as just the cost of running a business. But that's a story you can rewrite. Okay, if this is hitting home for you, I've got a free resource called the Fast Track Freedom 40 Guide. It's designed to help you reclaim up to 40 hours this month, showing you where your time is really going. The link is in the description. Here's the part that changes things. The goal is not to eliminate fires. That's not realistic, and honestly, that's not even the right goal. The goal is to stop fighting fires fires that never needed to exist in the first place. Because when you look at most business owners' weeks, really look at them, the exhaustion doesn't come from the truly unavoidable stuff. It comes from the same preventable fires showing up again and again. You don't fix that by working harder or hiring faster. You fix it by stepping back and asking a different question. What's causing this fire to keep happening? That question is where the real work starts. Here's what I want you to do after watching this video. I want you to look at your week through a different leadership lens. Think about the fires that you dealt with in the past week. Grab a piece of paper and draw 2 columns, one on the left, write unpreventable on the top. And the one on the right, write preventable. Now go through your week and sort each fire into one of those 2 columns. Be honest with yourself. That client complaint about a late delivery, was it truly out of nowhere, or was the timeline tight from the start and nobody raised the flag? That team member who came to you with a question they should have been able to answer, was that unavoidable? Or is there a reason they didn't feel confident making the call? Once you've got your list, pick just one fire from the preventable column, just one, and ask yourself, what would need to change so this doesn't happen again next month? Maybe it's a conversation with your team about timelines. Maybe it's giving someone the authority to make a decision without checking with you first. Maybe it's as simple as noticing that the same crunch happens every month, and it's time to get ahead of it. You don't have to fix everything, just start with one. Your business will always have fires, but you don't have to spend your days fighting ones that never needed to exist. More growth doesn't have to mean more grind. You can build a business that runs without running you into the ground. Okay, if this resonated, tell me in the comments, what's one fire from the past week that looking back was probably preventable? And if you want to figure out where you are in your growth journey and what to focus on next, take my free Ready to Scale Growth Stage Quiz. It takes 2 minutes and it'll show you exactly what stage your business is in and what shift will make the biggest difference right now. The link is in the description. If you're not subscribed yet, hit subscribe so that you don't miss what's coming next. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next one.